How's it going, everyone? Yep, coffee break. It's time for a coffee break. And Happy New Year. January 1. Hope everybody had a good, safe evening last night. Those of you that go out and celebrate, hope you were safe. Hope the ones that stayed home, well, you're probably feeling a little crappy today. So in other words, if I scream, you might have to turn down the volume. I can do that because I've been there. I don't do that anymore. It's been over 25 years since I quit that stuff. It was just getting to be too much. Problem is I love it too much. And we're just gonna leave it there. But anyway, hope everybody had a good time last night and celebrated the new year coming in. Even if you stay home, stay up and watch the ball drop, or just watched TV until midnight and said, "Yay! Happy New Year." Most of the time anymore, I fall asleep before midnight anyway, so I never get to see all that stuff going on. When you get older, I guess it just doesn't matter anymore. Or it's just, another year. And I hope everybody has a good year coming up. Prosperous and happy. It's got to be better than last year, I'll tell you. Last year was not a good year. But anyway, to top it off, to almost end the year, Christmas Eve on Friday, when it was -7 and the wind blowing 35 to 40 mile an hour, my furnace decided to quit. On Christmas Eve, of course, the coldest day of the year. That's when that stuff happens. It doesn't happen when it's warm and you can stay pretty warm. Needless to say, I called and got lucky. I guess that's one good thing, that there was the guy that's going to put the furnace in over at the store answered my call and said sure he'd come out. Cost me $250 for a service call on a holiday. But it's like, well, gotta have heat. Water already froze. It was we lost our hot water, and thank God we had cold water dripping, so we saved the cold water, and the tub drain froze. But he came out and only charged me $250. He found that the regulator on my propane tanks had ice in it. He beat them around a little bit and then beat the regulator on the furnace a little bit and knocked the ice loose, I guess, in it, and it's been working good ever since. So it's kind of strange, but if I don't know nothing about furnaces. I looked at it. When I talked to him on the phone, he told me a couple of things to check, and I checked a couple of things, and that didn't fix it. And I told him, "You're just going to have to come out." And thank God I had that money put back just for an emergency. So, and guess what? It was an emergency. By the time he got the furnace running, it was I think 49 in the house. And I was sitting at the kitchen table in front of a little electric heater reading how to set up a CNC machine. I still have one. One of those little ones. I bought a little one over the summer when I had the money, and I've never even opened it. And I have a 3D printer buried back there in the corner too that eventually we're going to get to and start doing some 3D printing and doing a little bit with the CNC. There's a couple of things I want to do with the CNC and the 3D printer to kind of do a project, and I want to start getting used to using a CNC machine, because eventually I'd like to have a big CNC for cutting cabinets, for a lot of these cabinets that we get that, you know, have bad panels on them, like Speed Buggy, when it took a dump and fell over and busted all up the back panel. If I had the CNC, I would have just, you know, set that up and cut out a new back panel for it and cut doors with it. You can get straighter lines with the CNC than trying to do it with circular saws, and you get them set up right and cutting good. They, you know, you get a nice edge done on them. You can cut in the, I think you can, if you have the right tooling, you can cut in the groove for the T-molding too. And I think it would be kind of neat to be able to do some stuff, maybe build some cabinets, who knows. You know, but that's way down the line. That may be next fall. But hopefully this summer we can get out pissing around with the little CNC machine and cutting out some little parts, and making some parts with the 3D printer for pinball machines. There's some stuff out there that can be just made with the 3D printer instead of buying it, you know, if you want to spend the time and program it and just print out your own little parts to fix machines on a lot of the older stuff. Then, you know, hey, that's great. You're not waiting 3 or 4 days. Maybe you only have to wait 2 hours while the printer prints it for you. I think they're amazing. Those 3D printers, you can do all kind of crap with them things and make all kind of fun things. I pissed with it for a while I had it in at the store, and you know, was just making some basic, like a little box for holding batteries. Had a lid on it, you know, that sunk down in, had my logo on it and that, and I was just messing around with it that way. And then other things I was trying to print, the plastic didn't want to stick to my plate, so I have to work on that. I don't know if it's using the wrong plastic or not enough heat or whatever, but you know, it's just everything's, you know, you have to work at it to make it work like it should. You have to get the little quirks. It's, you know, one of those little, it's a Chinese model 3D printer. I didn't want to invest a whole bunch of money into it until I get used to using a 3D printer and that, and then eventually if we do a lot more stuff, I'll get a good one, you know, just like the CNC machine. And there's other things that I'm thinking about, projects, doing some other things. I just finished up, oh geez, just finished up the second lighthouse. That one, you'll be seeing that one coming up. Just a two-parter. This one didn't have as much wrong with it as the first one, so I was able to move through that one pretty quick and get it done and ready to go over to the store. I brought Speed Buggy over here, and we're going to get back to work on Speed Buggy and finish getting it wired up and get the board set tested in it and see if it's any good or if we're going to be working on it. Sharky Shootout, my pinball machine, I kind of put that on the back burner. It kind of pissed me off, so it's gonna sit for a little while again until I get ambitious and want to start pissing with that MPU on that one again. Zombie Revenge, I think I told you last on Christmas that it needs the Zombie Revenge cartridge. And of course the main board, got the main board's good now, but the cartridge is bad. So it had a bad main board and cartridge in it. ROM board is what they call it. So I'll have to wait on that one. Hopefully I won't have to wait too long. Maybe something will happen and we'll make some money, and I'll be able to at least order the ROM board for it and get it done. Sharky Shootout's probably going to have to wait till summer till I start making more money, and I can buy the board set for that, unless I can get it figured out. I mean, it's being a real pisser. That one's really tough, and from what I understand, they are, because the traces on it are so small. And you know, I've run the traces on that 10 times, and I've run all the pinouts and everything, and it just it's not happy. It's only going to be happy if I put a new CPU in it. But yeah, so far that's what's going on around here. I've got, like I said, I got some more stuff coming up. I hope you enjoyed the 2 weeks of solid videos every day. Like I said, there was some stuff in there that wasn't the greatest, but it was on my hard drive and it was ready to be edited and rendered, so I did it so I could just keep putting them out. I have more on there to do. More on? There's more on my hard drive, not too many though. I got it weeded down, and now I can start hitting it heavy again and start producing some more videos and getting them on my hard drive, so when I do get stuck in the house, I have stuff to work on in there with the editing and rendering and uploading. Today, this is really weird. It's 56 today. Last week it was below 0. This week we're up almost to 60. I'll tell you, it was just that bad, that nasty clipper. I call it a clipper. I don't know what, I think they called it an Arctic front. Came all the way down from Siberia, and they should have left it up there. I think they ought to pay us for taking it. Yeah, but it was cold. I mean, I was actually stuck in the house. I came out for a little bit, a couple of days, when it was, you know, in the single digits and teens. I could come out for about an hour or so and just kind of dink around, and then run for the house to get warm. And it's just not worth it. You can't, you know, in the amount of time that I could spend out here, you can't get nothing going. You know, you get started on something and then shit, you froze, you have to go in the house. So I was a bum and just sat around the house and watched some YouTube and worked on videos and read. Yeah, believe it or not, I do read. I can read. At least I think I can. Hell, I don't know, maybe I'm not. Anyway, let's just say the furnace going out was the cap on a perfect year. Perfect shit year. Anyway, after I got the house warmed up, everything thawed out then. It was just so stinking cold that, you know, there was, with no heat in the house, it couldn't keep anything thawed out. But nothing broke, which was, says it didn't freeze long enough. You know, I was able to get once we got the heat back on it, you know, everything was okay. Thank God. I didn't have to crawl underneath and start working on pipes. I hate doing that. That's one thing I hate, is crawling under the house to work on plumbing or anything. I know this summer I have to get under there and work on insulation, but hopefully I can find some sucker to do it for me. I went over to the store. Pipes were thawed out over there, even though there was no furnace. Put PEX pipe in over there, so if it freezes, if you're not familiar with that PEX pipe, you know, it starts out at 1/2 inch or 3/4, and it can freeze and swell like 4 or 5 times its size, and once it thaws out, it's fine. It doesn't split like PVC pipe. PVC, as it gets older, it gets brittler. Brittler? How about if it just gets brittle? As it ages, it gets brittle, and then it doesn't take much for when it freezes. It cracks. If you notice, when you buy new PVC, you can, it's easy to cut with one of those cutters. I mean, it'll go right down through, cut real nice and soft. You take old PVC pipe and you try and do that, and it just shatters. Well, that's so that you think about it. When it's new, it has a little bit of flexibility to it. So if it freezes, it can swell a little bit and it's fine. But as it gets older and brittle, excuse me, as it gets old and brittle, it doesn't give. It just splits. So eventually I'm going to run all PEX pipe under the house and PEX pipe out to the garage. So then I don't have to worry about it. Out to the garage is going to be kind of fun, because that goes under the sidewalk in a pipe. Like, I think I can feed it down through. And when I do that, I'm going to run coax and phone cable out here too. So if I ever have the DirecTV turned back on, I can have DirecTV out here. Hey! Or cable. But mainly I need the phone so I can hardwire the internet out here instead of running Wi-Fi from the house out to here. And you lose too much out here with the Wi-Fi going through a couple of buildings. I mean, it's still at about 40%, but why be 40 when you can be 100% hardwired? So that's in the... I'm going to do that sometime too. I see a lot of people, a lot of channels doing their year-end review or the recap of 2022 or anything like that. Let's see, my recap for Retro Gaming with Hopper for 2022 is we worked on a lot of shit, and we got a lot of crap done, and we still have a lot of crap to work on. That's my channel recap. I just get tired of it, people doing their recaps on their channel, and it's like, yeah, how about something new? Do something new for your recap. Ooh. But I don't know, I just think it's kind of a waste. So you recap everything that you've already showed everybody. Still got a lot of stuff to do, work on out here. Nobody came up with any ideas or any topics this past week. So I'm just kind of winging it again, and just kind of going through and just telling you what I think you should know. And I'll keep everything else to myself. Oh man. But no, still working eBay. Seems like after Christmas it's still the retro game systems are still bringing about the same amount of money as what they were before Christmas, so that's good. Another big resurgence in retro gaming, especially the Nintendos and the Segas. Xbox, PlayStation 2. Surprisingly enough, I can sell a PlayStation 2 for more money than I can a PlayStation 3 Slim with a 320 gigabyte hard drive. Reason is there's so many good games for the PS2. PS3, I don't know. And a lot of the PS2s are bulletproof, pretty indestructible, you know. New laser, or adjust the laser every now and then, and man, you can just keep on playing them old games. Cartridge games, I mean, you can't beat cartridge games. The laser never goes bad in a cartridge system. You clean your cartridge and stuff it in, and it plays every time. And that, you know, Genesis, original NES. NESs get just wore to hell out. That 72-pin game connector just gets plumb wore out. You've seen it on my channel. I've had some in here where you put the game in the console, you turn the console up and the game would fall right back out. I mean, that's just plumb wore out. You put a game connector in it and away you go. N64, same thing, Super NES. Super NES, just clean the pin connector. Everybody's after those now, the Super NESs. N64s are bringing decent money. GameCubes, there's some really high dollar games in GameCube. I have 4 of them on right now. I think Pinkman 2, Eternal Darkness. I think I put Super Monkey Ball. That's just, you know, that one's okay. And there was one other one I put on. I have some pretty high dollar games. I think Eternal Darkness or Pinkman is already at 68 bucks. And it just went on last night, which would be Thursday night. Because I'm recording this on Friday. And let's see, the Nintendo, the Wii's are actually coming back. I think after 2020, when everybody was on house arrest, everybody got back into playing the games again. And I hadn't seen that for, you know, 5 years, 6 years on the old stuff, or longer. But after that, and the Wii is more interactive. And I think people are finding out that it's kind of fun to actually interact with your game system instead of sitting on the couch and just sitting there like that. You do that with your phone too. So they're playing the Wii. They're actually bringing decent money too. Let's see. Like I said, the Segas. Dreamcast and Saturn is tough. There's some good games out there, but there's not many. You know, there's not a whole big library of games. Not like PS2. I think PS2 there's like 12 or 1300 games that were made for the PlayStation 2. So if you have a PlayStation 2, you know, shit, you can go to the thrift stores and all them places and find games for them. I mean, you might have to clean them, you know, and if you look back through my videos, I show you how to clean them if you don't have one of the cleaning machines like I do. Some of them I just clean with the cotton buffer on a wheel, on a stick. And, you know, you can clean, if they're not scratched really bad, you can just buff them out and stick them in and start playing. So there's a lot of that good stuff. Cube are the ones. They're high dollar because they made such good games for the Cube. And GameCube games are really hard to clean. I've showed you how to clean them with a buffer, and you can get them to work. My machines, my JFJs, they ruin them. They sell the pad, the disc, and everything, so you can do them with your JFJ, and it doesn't work. It ruins them. So I don't even put them in there. I just use my bench grinder with the cotton buffer on it, and I buff the living hell out of them, and I can get them to work. If they have some deep scratches, I'll take my very fine sandpaper I have for my JFJs, and I will sit down and sand my disc all the way around and then buff it out, and I can get them to work, and you're not ruining them. There's some really good games for the PS1, but those games, that's another one that you should actually just use a bench grinder with a buffing wheel on it to clean those games. If you use the JFJ, it ruins them too. Especially those black ones, those black games. You got to buff them out. And even the buffer, you take too much material, or you get them too glossy, or something, or you get a wave in them or something, and the PS2 will just not read them. I mean, I had Final Fantasy VII. I had like 7 copies of that thing, and 4 of them were good. The other 3, disc 1, I could not clean it. I mean, they didn't look real bad, but you buff them out and put them in, and they wouldn't play. So I had like 3 copies of Final Fantasy VII with discs 2, 3, and 4, and no 1. 1 is the one that gets played the most, 1 and 2. Very seldom, there's not a whole lot of people that get to 3 and 4. It's 1, 1, 1. Gets played the most. So that's the one that's going to be the crappiest. You look at the other ones. I mean, you look at 1 and it's all scarred, scraped, and everything else. You look at disc 4 and it looks like brand new, like you just opened it up. Because 1 gets played. But there's some high dollar games too in PS1. There's not many really high dollar games in PS3, Xbox, and Xbox 360. Xbox, the original Xbox, is not bringing a whole lot. I thought they were, because they were, they're harder to fix and keep working. But, and the games, I think most of the games just kind of went right over to Xbox 360. I don't know if they just started making better ones for the 360 instead of the Xbox. There's still some good games for the Xbox, but there's no real high dollar games like in PS1, 2, and GameCube cartridges. There's some high dollar games for the N64. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I've had a copy of that. That I sold for, I think, went for like $180. NES. If you find anything that's M-rated, that was not made by Nintendo. Nintendo didn't make any M-rated games at that time. There was Zombies. I have Zombie Revenge sitting here, so I want to keep saying Zombie Revenge, but there's something zombie in the NES, and that was the same thing. That was like a $150 game. But Conker's Bad Fur Day is a good game. If you ever get a chance to play that, play that. You get to run around as a drunk squirrel, and in the end you get to talk to a big pile of shit that Good game. Nintendo wasn't, Nintendo creators and writer or software designers and all that stuff, they didn't do any M-rated games. It was all when they let other people come in and make games for their consoles, that's when the M-rated games come out. Nintendo is more kid-friendly, and I always said, like the Wii, I always said the Wii was more women-friendly, because there was a lot of stuff that the women could do, which was good, because at least somebody included them in on their console to bring new people, to get them interested so they'll play and buy games too, not just the guys, you know. And you know, teenagers up to into their 20s and 30s, you know, all those war games and all that stuff. Yeah, I never got into those. PlayStation 2, I like the stupid fun kids games, you know, Crash, oh shit. Well, Sonic, I really liked Sonic the Hedgehog and Sega. In fact, I have the Sega collections for my PS3, and I think I even have it for my PS4, and they just sit in the house and collect dust. I don't even play them. But yeah, if it was a stupid kids game, you know, one of those games that you put in and you're thinking to yourself, man, this is stupid, the whole time you're playing it. God, this is stupid, you know, and 4 or 6 hours later you finally, you know, and you put it down and it's like, holy mackerel, I had fun playing that stupid game. You know, I like those games. Hell, I'm just kind of rambling on, kind of talking about game systems. I really enjoy the retro consoles. They're a lot of fun. I like working on them. I like the arcades. A little more difficult to work on. Pinball machines. Everybody says that EMs are harder to work on than solid states. Sometimes I agree and sometimes I disagree with that. Especially when it comes to MPUs with acid damage, with battery damage and things. You know, I know the right thing to do and the best thing to do is to just buy a brand new MPU, put it in, and then it's going to be reliable, and you know, you can move on. But you know, it's kind of hard to swallow right at the moment, $450 for a MPU. Plus I have some time, so I'll dink around with it. It's not like I'm charging somebody to work on it at, you know, 35 or $50 an hour. It's my machine, and I can work on it when I want, and it pisses me off, I'll let it sit, and then when I get over myself, I'll pull it back out and work on it some more. You know, that's just the way it goes. I'm not gonna I'll give in when I have the money for a new one, for a new MPU. That's when I'll give in. Until then, I'm gonna keep working on it. We have another driving game sitting over there too that we can work on. I think it's CSI. No, SCI. Special Criminal Investigation driving game. It has a big hunk of tape on the monitor. It says, "Very good monitor." So that's kind of making me wonder if the board set's, you know, not any good. Marquee stinks. It's bad. But it's all fun. I love working on this stuff. Okay, back to what's going on. 2023. I'm not going to make any predictions, and You know, what the hell is that everybody does on New Year's? That they're gonna, you know, stop picking their nose or lose weight or not gonna drink as much or whatever. Oh, resolution. Yeah, New Year's resolutions. I don't know about any of you, but I don't make any New Year's resolutions because it's so unpredictable. You know, I'm sure gym memberships go up substantially after the first of the year and then probably die off after a couple of months, if that, or a month, because I'm not doing this. This is too hard. God, I don't care how I look. I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't make any New Year's resolutions because you can never keep them. When you're ready to do something, you're going to do it, in my mind. You can't just say, "Oh, I think I'll quit. I'm gonna quit." No, if you say that, then you haven't made up your mind. You're not going to. Or if you say, well, I should quit. No. Why? Why try? Because you're not ready. You're ready to quit when you make up your mind and just tell yourself, no, I'm done. I'm going to quit. That's it. End of sentence. I did that with drinking. I went to, when I was out west, you know, it was easy out there when I was working construction. You drank like a fish all the time. It was like it was expected of you to drink. But I always waited until I was home. Never while I was out. That's why I was the only one with a driver's license and had to go around, pick everybody up and take them to work. But, you know, I tried the program out there, and you know, at that time I wasn't ready to quit. But when I come back here, and you know, when you're working for yourself, you can drink whenever you want, you know, anytime, any day, whatever. It got to the point where it was way too much, and my wife said that if you don't stop drinking, I'm gonna leave. I said, okay. It was nice knowing you. No. The next day, I quit drinking and haven't drank anything for over 20 years. And like I said, I made up my mind. I was done. I was done. I wasn't going to lose that. So you have to make up your mind on anything that you have a problem with. If you say, oh, I might, or I should, or maybe I will, no. You start saying that shit and you're not going to do it because you're not ready. You absolutely have to be ready. And I don't care, they say, oh, when you hit rock bottom, that's when you'll quit. No, if you're not ready, you're still, I don't care, you can go down further than rock bottom and you're not going to quit. You have to make up, and you have to decide what's more important. And I did. So it was, you know, it was easy. Granted, it took me 3 or 4 years before I could be around anybody that drank. Because, you know, but I don't miss it now. Once you get rid of it, and then your mind eventually just doesn't even think about it anymore. It takes a lot of time, but it does. You know, I used to smoke and chew, and it was the same thing. I tried quitting, and I wasn't ready until a certain remedy came out that most of you know I do. It was easy. same thing. I picked that up, and the next day I haven't smoked or had snuff for over 10 years now. But I guess you trade one off for the other. I still get my nicotine, but I feel a little bit of nicotine in my life I need. Just like a little caffeine. Gotta have some caffeine in your life. Gotta have something that keeps you going. As long as it's legal. Never got into that. But, okay. I think I rambled on enough tonight. Well, for you, it'll be today. It's dark now. It's dark 30. And I hope you enjoyed this week's coffee break. And don't forget about the Amazon link. You click on the Amazon link in the description, and it just brings you up to the home page, and then you can search whatever you're looking for. And if you buy something, then I get a small tip, I guess you want to call it, or commission, whatever, for sending you to Amazon. And hey, it helps support the channel, and that way we can get into some other stuff and buy some stuff. So I hope to see you on the next one. This week we're going back to our normal schedule where I'll be posting probably I don't even remember what the hell I was doing. What was it? I think it was Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to go back to the Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Have some arcade stuff coming up, so I hope everybody will be happy about that too. So until next week, be Wednesday. But until next coffee break, next Sunday, take care, and I hope you had a good New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Time for kielbasa and sauerkraut. See ya.